Hello, welcome to e-NABLE's Town Hall meeting for October 23rd, 2015. Town Hall is a weekly Google Hangout on air where team leads and community members are able to update the community on what's been happening. I'm Justine Diamond, your host for this week's meeting. Please remember that you can ask questions to any of our speakers through the Q&A feature. You'll find the Q&A at the upper right hand of your screen. Just click on the little grid of 9 boxes. If you're watching today's broadcast on certain devices, such as an iPad, you may find you can't access the Q&A. Questions can also be posted to the event page in the comments section, and we'll monitor both as we go along and try to answer those questions as best we can. If we don't answer your question during the Hangout, we'll answer it on the event post, so you'll be able to get an answer one way or the other. I'd like to remind everyone that Town Hall is about the community. So it's great when people are able to share what they're doing locally with the larger community. And we have at least one example of that today, and perhaps another if Joyce Avila is able to join us. She recently did a maker fair in Texas and was going to come talk about that and had a little bit of a flooding emergency at her house this morning. So she might not be here till next week. If there's something you would like to share with the community at an upcoming town hall, or if there's someone you think should speak at town hall, please let me know. You can drop me an email at events.enable@gmail.com. So what's been happening? As I've done recently, rather than recite a litany of events, I'm going to share the calendar page so you can see what's coming up. And this week, the calendar page is actually, we've got the link working now from the Foundation webpage. So I'll show you that. Just give me 1 second to share that screen. What's going to come up first is Amazon Smile, which I'll be talking about in a minute. But here we go for the Foundation webpage. If you navigate to enablecommunityfoundation.org and then hover over Get Involved, you'll see events. If you click on events, it will bring up the calendar. So I'm going to swap it over to agenda format because it's a little easier to see. And you will see a list of all the upcoming events. If you click on an event, you will get more information about it, as well as the option to copy it to your own calendar. The other news that I've got for this week is that we are now signed up with Amazon Smile. If you order through Amazon and go to a Smile account, percentage of all of your purchases benefits e-NABLE. And all you have to do is select it. You'll see there's here, e-NABLE Community Foundation. So that's all exciting. And a good way for us to get some additional funds in. So I will move over to Melina, if you're ready. You good, Melina?
So this week we were able to get the foundation set up on all things social media other than Google+, which we'll hopefully do today or tomorrow. There's now a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and a Twitter. We'll post all those links into the community so everybody can go and like them or become associated them in whatever format that you need to. In the future, we'll be looking for people to help run those, so that's something to keep in mind. And we have put an extreme amount of work into Autodesk University that's coming up in the near future, which I'm sure everyone will be talking about soon. And we're also working on a much better streamlined inventory system to help us track, record, and just do everything more efficiently with the test hands and the hand kits that everyone's sending in. So that process should speed along very soon. Christine, I'll hand it back to you.
Okay. Yes, you will be seeing posts about the social media and about Autodesk University in the very near future, and we'll be talking about that on Town Hall probably in the next week or so. So next up, we have Rich with education updates, and he's got some very exciting news too. So I'm going to pass this over to Rich.
Great, thanks, Justine. So we had a great thing happen in the education side of things this week. So we found out that we won an award And I'm actually going to share my screen so maybe I can give you a little more information about this. So the award we won is from the Silicon Valley Education Foundation, and the Silicon Valley Education Foundation gives an annual award to STEM education initiatives that are moving forward STEM education in the United States. So we won one of 4 of the STEM Innovation Awards that recognize the work of the education side of things. I just want to send a shout out there to all the teachers and other educators and non-educators alike who have been playing a role in moving forward the incorporation of e-NABLE into classroom activities and units and projects. So altogether, I submitted an application just kind of pooling all of the work being done by teachers around the world with e-NABLE, and we were successful. So Marla Parker and myself, we will be attending the Pioneers in Purpose ceremony in Mountain View, California on November the 4th to receive this very prestigious award. We're very excited about this. In addition to the publicity that this will bring us, this is also very exciting. There's a cash prize of $5,000 that went along with it that we can roll back into our education initiative. So I just thought I would mention that. We actually just got clearance to announce that a little while ago, late last night. So put that out there, and anybody who is interested in knowing more about our education initiative, I'm happy to share that with you. Perhaps as publicity around the actual award ceremony gets unrolled, we'll post that to our Google Plus community. But thank you to everybody who played a role in not only the application for this, but also the hard work that went into our application. So that was exciting. I hope I can actually take this time to share a couple of other things that we've been working on. We have a number of teachers who have expressed interest in working with myself and some other folks in the e-NABLE community on producing a teacher's guide. And essentially what we're looking to is to start a getting started initiative on our website. And so that was exciting just because we have a couple of teachers who've been doing great work. So we have Caroline Latham, who has been working with us for a number of months now, and she is going to help work on that. And John Spencer, also from the education side of things, he's in Toronto. We're bringing them on board to help us create a teacher's guide to help educators start up with the education initiative. So that's also an exciting development. Over the next few weeks, we'll be sort of pooling our ideas to put together a very basic entry-level user guide. One other announcement I wanted to make was John Schull and I on October the 27th of next week, we will be participating in a webinar through the Buck Institute for Education. And the Buck Institute for Education, they're sort of the world leaders in project-based learning, and they've asked us to present on the 27th at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 12 o'clock Pacific Time. We're going to be part of a Google Hangout just on authentic project-based learning initiatives, and we'll be doing a little description of the e-NABLE Educators Exchange, plus what teachers are doing to incorporate e-NABLE into their classroom. So pretty exciting week with the award and everything, but also some great stuff coming down the road. We're expecting that both the webinar and the user's guide and also this award will just help give added boosts to our education initiative, and will just help continue to bring more teachers on board with the work that we're doing. So I'm sure there's a couple of other things that I forgot. I was just teaching some 8th graders right before getting on here, so I scrambled to get on time. But great stuff in the education front, and I'm happy to field any questions that people might have. So thanks very much.
Okay, we don't have any questions yet. I'd like to add that I'm particularly excited about the educator guides that are being worked on. I've seen what's been going on so far, and I get a lot of requests from teachers who are relatively new to bringing this kind of a program into their school, and what they want are more concrete guidelines of how to get involved and how to get started and what exactly to do. And these documents that these 2 teachers are working on provides exactly that. And It's really exciting. I think it's going to really enable us to easily expand the education program into different schools at all levels. As a matter of fact, Caroline Lantham, I'm actually on Veterans Day, I'm going in to visit the school and see what they're doing and talk to their students. And I am really excited to, they're apparently excited that I'm coming in. I think I'm more excited that I'm going to be going in and seeing them and talking about what they're doing.
Actually,
Okay.
Justine, can I interrupt you there for a second?
Sure.
I thought there might be value in maybe sharing just the beginnings of the overview that we have here with anybody who's interested in the education initiative. So,
absolutely. Do you want to show a little bit of that right now?
Yeah, is that okay?
That would be perfect.
Great. So this is actually the user guide that John Spencer has put together. John is going to be leading a handathon in Toronto in the next weeks or months, and they've actually put together a user guide for participants in that large-scale build. And so, in anticipation of that, he has put together what he is calling his EduPack. And as we started to look through it, we realized that John, on his own initiative, had just absolutely started to nail the type of thing that we're looking for. So, one thing that perhaps I haven't stressed yet, but in the same way that we are crowdsourcing the development of new devices and all elements of our work, we're actually crowdsourcing the education side as well. So it's been really exciting to see not only Caroline but John step forward to begin to put together resources that teachers use, and this is just absolutely a testament to the spirit of all elements of the e-NABLE community, how volunteers are just coming forward with things in their small kind of piece of the pie that absolutely just moves our work forward. So we're certainly going to draw heavily on both. I won't show Caroline's version, but we're certainly going to draw on John's work and Caroline's work and begin to put together something that is going to be of use to educators around the world. And I should also mention we're also getting great suggestions of curriculum ideas and unit plans and little education activities tied in to e-NABLE. And so this was always the intention of the e-NABLE Educators Exchange, that it would just be a crowdsourcing, but also a place for people to share with the community what works for them. And so again, just a huge thank you to those folks that have been involved, not even just with Caroline and John putting this together, but also anybody who's been working in this space to contribute ideas. And if you have teachers that you know are working in the e-NABLE Ed space and you would like them to share what they've been working on, we would love to receive all resources from people. So hopefully that was informative.
Yes, it really was. And one thing that Rich didn't show is one thing that Caroline Lantham has done at her school is set up a bunch of to expand the program so that it touches a lot of different areas of curriculum. She has set up all sorts of different tracking and calendaring things. The students are in touch with recipients, and there's a lot of involvement in business management, basically. And she has shared in her guide, she has shared how she did that, how she set it up. It includes sample Google pages, sample plans. It's going to be, I think, a really great thing. And one thing she's interested in is having her students work basically as mentors for students who are just getting involved in this. And I know other schools where the students have already been doing projects are interested in that as well. And I'm particularly excited about the idea of having students, not only teachers, but students who have already done this, talking with students who are going through the process and kind of saying, oh yeah, we had that same problem, we did this is how we handled that. And I think that kind of collaboration between schools is going to be a very interesting and informative part of this whole process.
Right, and I've taken more than my piece of the time today, but I just want to mention something. So we also have a couple of things in the international education space that are about to happen. And what Justine was just talking about there, the opportunity for schools to work together, we're actually moving into that in terms of global collaborations between schools as well. So I have my 12 8th graders are on track to have a conversation with the International School of Brasilia in Brazil to share some respective work that they've been doing and share problems that they've been running into with the hand builds. So that's a really exciting piece where all of a sudden now we can have students not just work on the actual STEM pieces of this, but also the cultural understanding and the global education side of piece and global competencies. So we've got some really interesting directions that our education initiatives are taking. So more on that as they come online. So.
Thank you. Yes, it's very interesting. And speaking of the global aspect of what we do, we have global representation today. We have Thierry Okidum back again to see if we can solve out his issues with the volume. So we're going to try one more time and see. Otherwise, we'll try and get it sorted for next week. So let's see if we can hear him. Thierry?
Hi, guys.
Oh, yay.
Well, I've switched to my iPad, strangely, and that works. So I'll try later on to make it work on my Mac. I don't understand why it doesn't work because I do WebExes on a regular basis. Anyway, thank you for having me on board today. And not sure exactly what you want me to tell because we are in France very, very small compared to what you guys do in the States.
Yes, you've done a lot of pretty interesting things lately, and you've gotten a lot of great coverage. So I thought if you could talk about some of those matches you've done and sort of what you're doing, it would be interesting.
Okay. About the coverage, it's totally unwanted. It was totally unwanted. It happened last summer. I built a superhero hand for a kid, and it happened that the kid's parents knew a journalist, and then suddenly all the major televisions were there, and we had a huge coverage. But basically, I just did what I was doing for an entire year, so nothing strange there, and you do that every day too. The good thing is we got awareness in France where we hadn't, and there is an association that I work closely with called ACDA that gather people concerned by agenesia, and they got a lot of coverage too, so that's good for us. So basically where we stand now in France is in June I had 0 demand on the French territory. I have now over 50. In June I had 1 maker, me, in France active, and we are now 4, which is good. And so we are working actively on getting us to track to be able to build all these devices, because my forecast is that in 2016 we will have probably 100 more devices to build, and I'm totally not sure that we'll have any more makers. So I have started building the e-NABLE.fr website, and I'm building an association called e-NABLE.fr, e-NABLE France, that will follow closely the lead of e-NABLE US and apply the same methods for intaking, but everything will be in French. So it's much easier. You know, that we have that very, very much a problem with the English language here. And so it will help people from France, from Belgium, and from Switzerland to fill in the intake form. And we are also building a tool to match people, so to help matching, and hopefully we'll also be able, this is more of a dream for me, but we'll be able to develop either a web app or a smartphone app that it will allow a kid to personalize the colors of his hand, so he can, before he gets his hand, he can customize it to his wish and prepare his own superhero hand, because that whole superhero thing is very, very important socially.
Oh, wow. That sounds really interesting. You'll have to keep us informed on how that goes.
Of course.
That sounds really interesting. And I think having the availability of all those intake forms and the information in French is useful, Because of course,
Actually, I'm building the site so it can be multilingual. By using standard CMS technologies today, we can easily do that kind of thing at little to no cost. I will probably have to pay a developer, but it won't be much. And hopefully, when your system is rebuilt and up to date, we can throw in all our information and sync our databases.
Right, I was going to say I would love to be able to have all of that integrated.
You will. You will. You will.
The
only thing I was thinking at the beginning to ask the people to fill the intake form both on the US site and the French site, but honestly, this is not going to happen. It's too complex for the people. You can't ask them to register twice at 2 different places to get one thing.
No, I think we can probably work something out where we can get that information from you so that it'll be important for us to be able to continue to track that and track those recipients.
Absolutely, and it is my absolute objective, my goal. And so the intake form I'm going to build will be another set of your current intake form, which will be more precise, typically about the address of the people and so on. So it can be more easily handled when speaking of databases. If you, I'm not sure Melina is, yes, Melina is there. If you want to send me information about the data organization you are putting up into place over there, then I can try to match it better.
I think we can do that. I think we can do that. I'll look into it.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's actually really interesting.
Well, that was my 2 cents.
Thank you. We also have today from Paraguay, from Po Paraguay, we have Eric and Ferro, who have been doing really fabulous work in South America. And I had a really good chat with them on Wednesday, and I learned quite a lot about what they're doing and their model of operation and how many hands they've been able to give out in a country where there's not a lot of printers. And to be perfectly honest, until I talked to them, I knew very little about Paraguay other than where it was located. So I appreciated being able to talk to them from some of the cultural issues as well. So I'm going to pass it over to them so they can update everyone on sort of what they've been doing and what's been happening. Because I think it's great to be able to see how this is all working like in France, in a totally different part of the world. So, Eric, Ferro?
Yeah. Thanks, Justine. First of all, it's Fercho or Fernando.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Thanks a lot. Thanks first for the invite and for the chance to speak with everybody and share a bit of ourselves and what Po Paraguay is doing here in Paraguay. First of all, I'm Eric Diquis. I'm a medical student, and I'm Fernando Valese, or Fercho, but it's easier Fernando. I'm an electric engineer. The background actually in the business area, so we teamed up and we had this amazing idea, powered by you guys, Yeah, at first we started about like 2 years ago when the community, the Google Plus community had about 200 people. Actually started a little bit before when we didn't know about e-NABLE yet. We actually saw the Project Daniel, the thing done by Not Impossible Labs. And after we saw that, we started researching and looking for where did this come from? Is there someone else doing it in the world? And then we actually finished in the e-NABLE Foundation page and in the Google Plus, and we started talking with everybody. We talked with Jeremy Simon a lot. We talked with other guys from the team, and we said like we have to do this. It's great that someone is doing it in the U.S. or in other places, but here we have a lot of needs, and we are not gonna wait until somebody come here. But why don't we do it? And not having a lot of experience yet in 3D printing, since here in Paraguay 3D printing is not as common as other places. How many? Well, actually there is like no one knows about 3D printing. We only looked, like we knew for 3D printing because we love technology and we researched a lot. But then again, when we started asking for people with 3D printers, I think that online there are about like 50 printers, 30 printers here in Paraguay, and quite a lot of them are like leased 3D system large format printers, So we didn't find a way of like replicating the model, the successful model you had there in the United States, So we sat one day with Eric, and another problem that we had was that there were no statistics, how many people had lost hands. We didn't know anything. And the problem is the government, it's like very disorganized, so they didn't have this stuff, We would go and talk to the doctors in the emergency services and the national health services, and they were like, well, we don't record these statistics, but we can tell you there are a lot of people. We amputate about 5 to 8 people per day, so that like for us that was like a really big number, and that's just what they think, what's recorded. So we sat with Eric and we said, all right, let's do this ourselves, and we ordered actually from Jeremy one like Flash 4 Creator Pro, which got shipped, and the day we went to pick it up from the airport, it actually fell from the pallet, from the plane, so we had a completely broken printer on and that was our first 3D printing experience, which was sad, but at the same time, like Eric says, we got a prime. The first week was like how to fix 3D printers.
Yeah, we actually got a free crash course of how to solve every single problem a 3D printer can have. So yeah, we ordered things from China, from the US, from everywhere, and Fercho it's quite a genius in fixing things. So we after working about one week, 2 weeks of pure reassembling all the FlashForge, we finally managed to do our first test print, a little test cube, which was a huge thing here. It was like amazing. We can't even imagine what this can do. And after that, that was about, I think that was September, around September.
Yeah, I think so.
And then, well, we had the chance to participate in a championship here, which was kind of a startup thing. It was a digital solution for social problems, which was and we applied via a web platform that we are actually developing, and the price was $5,000, which isn't much, but it helps a lot. And this digital platform let us contact everyone, like anyone here in Paraguay, via Facebook, in order for them to get to Paraguay and be able to get to everybody. And well, we got there the chance to actually think about a model that could work. And there's just, before the model that could work, we say that we had the chance to actually build our first hand in November, which was a little pink hand for actually a fuchsia hand for a 15-year-old, and that was our first experience. And after that, many came, and it's really nice to say that probably the first months was a lot of trial and error, and actually getting to make it like the best quality we could get with the flexi hands, because we're using the flexi hands. And we got to, for the first 6 months from November, we got 16 people using the flexi hands, and then from there to now we got 34 people using it. Well, actually there are 28 people using the flexi hands, and we got other 6 flexi arms, some are redesigned flexi arm, which we're gonna show afterwards probably, and which actually yesterday we got the first kid to take it like fully home. It's like you can take it, use it, and start grabbing things, eating, and he was using it like perfectly. And the other 5 kids are being monitorized. They live close to us, so there's not a big problem with that. So we're making that part. And part of the model, that it's pretty interesting what we do too. We're a nonprofit.
Yeah, as Eric was saying, like one thing beforehand that I have to explain to you guys is the fact that here in Paraguay we have some social issues. As you know, we're a developing country, so like the minimum wage, it's about $300. And that's
minimum wage. It's the minimum wage is
per month.
Per month.
Yeah, per month. Sorry about that. So it's about $300 per month. And at the same time, not everyone earns a minimum wage. Quite a lot of people earn below that, So because it's not very well controlled by the government. So that's one side. The other thing is that Eric was talking about this platform that we built to connect to people using like Facebook and WhatsApp, and you would be like, so how do people like can get a phone and a service when they don't have much money to even live for, And thing is that Facebook partnered up with most carriers in the
developing countries and in Paraguay. So Facebook subsidizes quite a lot of the, well, almost 95% of the cost of phones, you know, and they give away access to WhatsApp and Facebook for free. So you have some places, like some families, that live pretty much literally on a cardboard house, you know, but they have phones, you know. And that way we realized, because logistics is also quite a big deal here. It costs a lot to move from one city to the other, and only the big cities are interconnected. The rest is just like through very old buses, you know, buses that like are expensive for people, you know. It will be difficult for them to come to us, get measured, and go. So what we developed here in this platform is basically a system very similar to the e-NABLE system, but leveraging Facebook and WhatsApp for connecting people and getting a good database that we can actually track properly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it came to the point with Eric that we said, you know, we have to do this in, like, to make this grow, because obviously, like, we can't really start using the model that it's been done in the United States. So we partner up with a few people. We have some great engineers working with us, you know, full-time. Actually, we have 7 people working full-time, 3 working half-time. So we have a team of 10 that are working every single day to make this happen here in our country, you know. Right now, we are fully legally set up as a non-profit company, which is great news for us, because we also got a certification for that we are
social benefit.
Yeah, social benefit charity, you know, which is very good for internationally proving that what we do is actually non-profit and that funds are going where they should be, you know.
Yeah.
So
the interesting part from the model we do is that since we don't have as much as volunteers to actually donate their time, their machines, their plastics and everything, we had to find a way to actually make this sustainable, because this wasn't something we wanted to do for the first 30 and then okay, funds are over, we don't have anything yet less, or we don't have donations, and so we have to stop and we can't actually solve people's problem and give them the option and the opportunity to get a prosthetic. So we found out actually that the first people that we gave out were free. Were totally free because we were trying with them, we were working with them. They're actually people that work, people with using the hands, the flexi hands, that are actually working with us again. But the thing is that we managed to actually charge $120 per hand, because, well, the actual amount that appeared that we had the result of a proper hand with all the organization would be in about $500 or $600 with all the wages and all the stuff. But we found that that was too much for people to pay, and it's way too much. So we actually do this we subsidize with donations, or even with volunteers, the engineers themselves giving their time in order to actually make this possible. So we found out that people were able to pay $120, and not only were able, but they wanted to pay, because we're working in both in different ways. It's good to have a prosthetic and it changes your life, but we're trying to work more not only in the physical part, but in the emotional way and the social way. These people are used to get most people here in Paraguay that suffer from social injustice, we can say, they're used to have an assistential program, always giving them things. You have to give your a house for free. We give you food for free. We give you help for free, and their mindset is saying that they're poor, or they have disability, or they have something like that. But when we actually saw the people coming and saying, like, this is $100 you can pay. If you can't pay, well, we're gonna have a donator. And the people actually say, no, wait, I'm gonna do something that is called apoyar, which is like a chicken barbecue in my neighborhood, and I'm actually gonna get those $100, $125, and I'm gonna pay for it. And it was an amazing experience, because these people left our offices, our workshop, actually they actually bought something that was for themselves, and they actually feel like the true owners of those, and they could if they had a problem, they called and they say, can you fix this, and guaranteed and everything.
So it's actually more of a user empowerment that we found when charging this, making at least $120 covering which is plastics and machines and electricity and little things, and the other part is paid by donations, which is making this something that can actually live longer here in Paraguay at least, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's it. We have to make this sustainable.
Yeah.
Because it's a way, like we check it out. We actually couldn't find any other model that would work sustainably, you know, in order to pay the engineers, designers, and so on.
Yeah.
Which is something that you do know, is that models are obviously a work in progress. You know, the 3D models. Even for the flexi arms, which again the base model is just amazing. We had to do quite a lot of modifications because we had like printed 30 arms, you know, and we try them out and they break in different parts. They need a modification to be stronger and to work better for the final user, because thankfully we have both hands, you know. But again, that's a good thing, but a bad thing in the sense that we can't really try out every single thing that we design or that we modify or print. And it's a great thing to have some users that are really willing to try them out for us and tell us where we can improve our different concepts. You know?
And the part that I like to speak a lot, which is mainly how e-NABLE is working and everybody in the world is working, that we're focusing a lot on this as a social manner, as a social thing, that we're trying to change the idea of how a prosthetic is being seen here. Normally it's an stigma here. You see a prosthetic and they don't like it and everything, but with this different colors and kids getting their Iron Man hands or the little girls getting their red hands in order to actually mix and match with their boots, or the other guy using a black hand with a golden detail. This kid with his 20 years old, and he lost his hands when he was 8 years old. He actually changed his profile picture from the one he was hiding his hand out, and now he's like full frontal with his flexi hand, which is an amazing thing that we're trying to focus, making them feel as the rock stars they are right now. And yeah, basically that. And we're trying in the next months to post a lot more of pictures of these kids using it, and also the data. We were talking with John Wednesday, and he actually made us notice the amount of data we were sitting on, and really okay, there's a question, but yeah. Okay, and that the data we were sitting on is really big, and we're actually working right now. Yesterday we started working on how to prepare that properly in order to give it to e-NABLE, so you can actually see a way of making that data useful for the whole world. And we saw Rich actually said, "Hi guys, I have a solid connection with the American School of Asunción. Would you be open to me connecting them, you and your work?" Yeah. And the funny thing is that our office is right in front of the American School of Asunción.
Yeah, just a block from here.
No, not block, like in front of our street.
300 meters.
Yeah. It's the American school, so that, yeah, whenever you want to make a contact, it would be great.
Yeah, we're pretty well located, you know, very centrally located, so it's very good. We're in Asunción, which is the central capital city. Like what we also want to focus, or apart from what Eric said, you know, is like sharing the success stories of these people that we're helping, because like there's like one thing is just like the physical change. They can start grabbing things, eating again. But the real change that we see is like on the psychological and emotional part. These people, like at least from what we see, is that they recover hope, you know, because for here in Paraguay, you lose a limb and there is no more hope. You know, you're completely out, you know. So like it's amazing seeing that, and we give a lot of like continued support for them. For the guys that like live around, you know, we definitely hold like quite a lot of hamburger parties or barbecues and so on, so they can meet each other and they can talk and they can share how their prosthetic works, how they are using it. Yeah, it's a great concept that we're seeing great success with it, you know.
Yeah. And that's about it. That's a little bit of Paraguay. Any questions? We'll be glad to answer. or anything I missed, Justine or John, that I mentioned it Wednesday, please tell me so we can resay it.
That's really interesting. And I know oh, we gotta hang on. We know the testing data and what you're doing with that is going to be very interesting. So we'll have to figure a way to get some of that information over. Before we go, did you guys say you had an arm that you could show us, one of the flexi arms you've been doing?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we're gonna show this was actually a modified one we used. Well, this way. Wait. There was the Christian Silva. Yeah, Christian Silva's one had a big thing here. We're gonna get the original Christian Silva and then contrast it with the one we did here. The first, you can see this part it breaks here. Yeah. But Christian Silva's model had this part, which was really big, and our users were saying that I can't use a jacket, it hurts, it's big, it's heavy in some parts. It also has some issues in this part because the Velcro actually was doing all the strength part here, and it just teared out. And then the joint with the hand and forearm actually broke a lot. So we did several changes, and this is actually one we did today, which is we actually made this part, the whole triceps cuff, smaller. Well, instead of using the whole tensioners in the top, we actually put in the side. It's much stronger. The Velcro, it's how is it, sharing the pressure on the triceps cuff. We also did a modification in the Velcro straps here, using the same property as we use in triceps, which is putting the Velcro right on the back, all the way here. So all the pressure is gonna be on all the side. We also make this bigger because we found users felt that it wasn't covering them as much as they wanted, and at the same time it gave a lot of strength in that part. And then this part, which is we added more joints using nylon filament here. So we had 1, 2, and 3 and 4, which actually give a lot of strength. You can do sideways, front ways, anyway. And at the end, we changed from the regular hand, the regular flexi hand with the open thumb, and now it's an opposable thumb. So you can grab a lot of things, which is a huge difference between the regular flexi hand and the opposable thumb. And this is a modification we did actually because it didn't fit. But yeah, we're gonna share it afterwards, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, just to complement what Eric's saying, we are doing a very good process of taking everything we do and documenting it, So as soon as we finish this, which I hope is less than a month, and we get some working hands that are actually tested and approved by our users, we're going to share everything with the community so that you can go ahead and people can have the least amount of problems of replicating what we are doing right here, because when we got the first model, as Eric said, there were quite a few things that we had to modify for our users to be happy with it,
Yeah, and the arm we showed you, the first 2 arms that we actually say this could be a final prototype. There is this arm, but we gave it out yesterday, 2 of them to a kid who didn't have 2 arms, which is an interesting thing too, because just fast and to finish what we're saying, we're working with we're also doing a bit of research and development with all the Maya Electric, and we got the Mayo, which is an amazing piece of technology. And yesterday, this kid that took the flexi arms, he lost his hands by here with an electric shock, both hands, and he started using. Let's see if we can do
I'm going to try to do something really. Not
technological.
Not technological, but I'm going to show you the video of him grabbing, using a myoelectric, obviously a first prototype, But let's see if you can see it from there. Oops, there. You can see his arm. Let me see. Everything he's doing is, again, using whatever is left of his muscles. But the most amazing thing was the fact that when he started, when we put the Maya on him, just to try it out, he could do cursor movement and just using actually wanted to get the diagnostics from the Maya to see which muscles were detected. he had better movement and better detection than we did.
Yeah.
We still can't figure out how's that, but he managed to move the mouse and everything more perfectly than us.
And and the amazing part too, that was the whole training we did with him. It was like for him to think about his hand closing, and then it was amazing because we didn't we calibrated to that. I told him think about closing your hand, and then in the screen the hand appeared closing. I was like, no. And then open your hand, and he opened and move your hand like this and like that, and you can see the little muscles in the forearm actually working and doing the thing, and he was working incredible. Yeah.
I'll get you.
I will get you the link about the Mayo. It's actually Mayo.com.
Yeah.
If you've got the permission, if you've got the permission from that recipient, if you could post that video over into the community and talk about, there's a section for Myoelectrics. If you could post that and talk about what you've done, that would be really awesome. And I think there are a lot of people who might not see this who would be really, really interested or are trying to do stuff with Myoelectrics. So if you go to the Google Plus community, look at the different categories, there is one for Myoelectrics. And if you guys could post about it, that would just be, I think very interesting to start a discussion on our side, but also just to see that would just, I think, mean a lot to a lot of people. I think that's really fabulous.
Yeah, actually, we plan on doing some more tests on him in the beginning of next week. So, we are going to post some very detailed videos of him working with the hand. And like Eric said, I think this development thing is pretty good. It takes away quite a lot of the usual complications of myoelectrics and getting all the different parts and the muscle sensors and so on, and it just focuses on getting it to work. So I think we can cut some big parts of the research and development stages, and jump straight into getting things into the user hands.
Yeah, and we also have I have to show. We have another one of the Paul crew here who is the one that was programming the Arduino to actually make it work. Say hi, Mateo.
Hello.
Yeah. He's the one that actually modified the files in order to get to him to close the hand and open the hand. So he's probably gonna be sharing some info with the actual code to
the community.
Yeah, to the community. Yeah, to the Google Plus group. And that's that.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. That's really fabulous. I'm gonna staying with the R&D. I'm gonna move us over to Peter, who just put up a very interesting video on the community. And Peter, I'm just going to hand it over to you. I'm not going to steal any of your thunder.
Oh, shut up. That was incredible, guys. Wow. Oh, wow. What amazing work. I'm just blown away. That's very, very exciting. Yeah, I spent a few days and put together a video on vapor smoothing to make the main reason is to make mechanical surfaces smooth so that the devices we make function better. And I used some of my proven ABS technique that works very well. And then I also did some experimentation with so with ABS I use acetone, but I was experimenting with PLA and ethyl acetate, which is a solvent for PLA and also very volatile. But I did run into some issues, so if you get a chance, take a look at the video, and especially the end of the video. Well, of course, I want you to be making your ABS parts beautiful and smooth and all that, but I'd also like, if there are any chemists, if you have some input on how we can fix that problem with PLA. It's getting a hard white material that really just doesn't look good. So maybe we just need to print everything in white. I don't know, but hopefully we can come up with a better solution for that. But that's what I've been working on this week. I've got I guess the Haiti team actually got in touch with me a few days ago, and it looks like we're going to be working on training some Haitians at the beginning of 2016 to make devices. So we're kind of putting together a class on that, so that sort of fits into the education part. But I'm looking forward to that too. But anyway, that's it for me for this week.
Okay, that's great. John, before we get to you, we have a couple of questions in the Q&A, so I'm just going to go through those. We've got Chuck Antalas, who thanks the Paraguay guys for their great work and asks if they can share the information about the myoelectric devices, which I believe they will. Just watch in the community, or I'll put some more information in the comments for this post. And Sarah Grisham has said that I have a daughter who has good wrist control. However, she cannot make a fist. She can move her fingers but can't close it. Do you have hands that will help her? As my husband states, she needs something that's like an exoskeleton. Sarah, I don't know if anyone here can immediately answer that question. Off the top of my head, she's looking for something a little different from what we've normally got, but that doesn't mean that there's not something we can do. So we will get back to you, or I have your email. You sent me an email. I'll get back to you with more information or who's the best person to talk to. And now, not last today, but certainly not least, I'm going to hand this over to John Schul, who I believe is at the airport waiting to take a trip to Portugal. John, you're muted. You're muted. Thank
There
you.
we go. Okay. All right. Yes, indeed. I'm at the airport on my way to Lisbon, Portugal, where the International Assets 2015 Human-Computer Interaction Group is meeting. This is an international group of human-computer interaction researchers focusing on assistive technologies and support for disabilities. They are having me kick off the meeting, which is interesting because in the old days, I would have papers submitted to that conference be rejected, but they are so interested in what the community is doing that we're going to have a real audience, and we'll talk about obviously what's going on now and what might go on in the future. Just to continue on the international theme, I will also, on the last day I'm in Portugal, go to a nearby town called Coimbra in Portugal, where they're working on soft robotics and are working on some kind of a soft robotic arm in collaboration with a group at Carnegie Mellon in the United States. I spoke to the people at Carnegie Mellon today, and they were telling their fellow Mellonites, or whatever they call themselves, that they should watch Peter Binkley's video, because there was all sorts of really interesting R&D stuff that kept popping up in the community. And so Jen Mekoff, who has been in the community, was urging her academic collaborators to participate. I will be urging the Science in Lisbon, as I urged Jen's colleagues, as I will now urge our friends from Paraguay, to continue to do this amazing, amazing work and to share what you're working on as you're working on it. Academics and perfectionists and professionals will often wait until something is as good as they feel it should be. I want you to try to wait until it's significantly better than nothing and then share it, because what happens when that happens is lots of people begin chiming in. You find out that there are other people working on related problems, including, by the way, the myoelectric thing. Paraguayans, there's a group at Carnegie Mellon working on that too. And just the international sharing and progress that's going on in this meeting is a really amazing testament to what everyone is doing. It's incredible. That's all.
That's not all. I think you have some media information to share with us.
Oh, all right. I actually thought, right. So, and as per usual, there are ever more videos coming out. There are two that came out just this past week. One is the official release of the extended Red Hat video, which does a great job, by the way, of talking about the open source and the sharing of information and the collaborative innovation. It features a fellow named Peter Binkley, his son Peregrine, and a number of other people. But it deals with these sharing and the collaboration issues. It's really, really well done. The other one is an interview with me and Hari Srinivasan, the guy that you see on PBS NewsHour. I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of me. I happened to come across one of our first videos, the one that featured Melina and Ethan, and I got to say, I think it's really one of the best and one of the nicest. One of the things I'm doing is I'm trying to pull together a list of journalists who have written about us or made videos about us in the past, so we can let them know about other future interesting events. There is a spreadsheet in the community. You can find it by reading carefully the masthead posts that we pin to the top of the Google Plus community. If you know of reports, it would be good to add things to that. The point is, we've got lots of videos in hand. We have more coming out all the time. They really tell the story, and they have a lot of positive impact. And these latest two are pretty good, pretty good.
Okay, thank you very much. I know Melina won't necessarily say it, but the video with her and Ethan is actually a fabulous and moving video. And if you haven't seen it, I will put a post in the community that links to it that will bring it back up to the top. And I just think you should watch it because it's a little different from some of the other things you've probably seen about e-NABLE. It's a sort of a different approach, and it's really, really wonderful. And I know Melina's like going to sit there and not say anything, but it's really special. And I will put that up a little later today. And other than that, we have no other questions. We are basically at the end of the hour. So if nobody here has anything else, does anybody have anything else?
Hi, if I may just add one last point, since Melina and John are there. Melina, I know you've been in touch with a girl named Shirley. I met in Paris at the 3D print show the CEO of eSun Filament. And they seem to be willing to put up a global, worldwide deal with us to provide us with filaments, which could be a very, 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 very good thing. So have a look at that, and please, John and Melina, look into it. If you don't or can't make anything, I'll try to do something for Europe. But obviously, you are positioned to deal something worldwide.
Thierry, we are working on a filament donation program, or at any rate, we are committed to working on a filament donation program. There are 3 other vendors who are offering to donate filament. What we really lacked is somebody to organize and lead that effort. So if you'd like to get in touch with me to share that information, maybe we can push it over the top.
Okay, let's do that. Just one thing, I don't have your email address, so if you want to write to me first.
That's great.
Or if Melina can send me your email address, I'll get in touch.
It'll get to me.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I declare this the International Review Town Hall meeting. It's really extraordinary.
It is. Thank you, everyone who came. Oh, we have one more question. Grace asks who the people are in my new avatar. And that's me in the black and my daughter's friend Anna dressed up as Supergirl at World Maker Faire in New York trying on one of our hands. And she was absolutely awesome, and everybody was following her around and taking pictures, and she was just like better than Supergirl herself. And she's really a pretty special person. She's very involved in robotics. I think we might be able to get her involved with some of the e-NABLE stuff as well. So that's what the new icon is. I got tired of the little e-NABLE logo, so I thought we'd have something different. In any event, that's the end of our hour. That clears our question and answer. And until next week, happy printing.